Hello friends, welcome to day 31 of 100 days, 100 ways to study your scriptures. I'm here on an overcast day, which is my favorite in North Carolina because it's really hot still and lovely. And here we are. Here is my son Walker. Say hello.
Hello.
He wants to be in the video, of course. Who wouldn't want to be in this magnificent video? Look at these beautiful trees. The nice thing about the trees is they're all around the pool, so you can always find a shady spot in the pool at any time of day. So that's kind of how I roll and like it. So I'm here studying my scriptures. I did bring these pens on vacation because, that's just how I roll. And I am working through my Scripture Journaling 101 book that I made. It's in my last video if you want to check that out. And day 1 is all about doing the Scripture Squeeze. So I've got my little notebook on my lap. I'm going to take you down there. And here we go. So I want to talk about what I studied today. So I'm just carrying along in the Book of Mormon. And I studied 1 Nephi chapter 5 with a question in mind: how can I study more effectively even while on vacation? And it worked out perfectly because at this point, Nephi and his brothers have returned from Jerusalem. They brought the gold plates with them, and everyone is so thrilled to see them. And the whole family is still in the wilderness. It's a hard time, but here we are. And this is where we're studying today. So here is the scripture that I wanted to pull out from chapter 5. It's verses 20 to 22. And I wrote it out here kind of central. And I'll just read through that so you can get a feel. So I'll come in a little closer. And it came to pass that thus far my father and I had kept the commandments wherewith the Lord had commanded us. And we had obtained the records which the Lord had commanded us, searched them, found that they were desirable, yea, even of great worth unto us, insomuch that we could preserve the commandments unto our children. Wherefore it was wisdom in the Lord that we should carry them with us as we journeyed in the wilderness towards the promised land. Towards the land of promise. Okay, I found some really cool things in there, and I just wanted to quickly share them with you. And if you found something else or something that you want to share, just leave it down below in the comments. I'd love to hear it. So the first thing I thought is, this really stuck out to me, this little phrase, thus far. So Nephi and his father thus far had kept the commandments of God, knowing that there's going to be more hard things to come, knowing that we really have to endure. And I loved that idea. That happened for them, and that happens in life. So that was great. The next thing I found was this list here about they obtained the records. They obtained the scriptures. They searched them, and they found things in them that were desirable. So I thought that is a pattern for my own study. I obtain the scriptures. I'm on vacation. I downloaded them on my phone, and here we are. It's so easy to obtain scriptures now, and I'm so grateful for that. Then you search them. So you don't just read them. You read them, you ponder them, you journal them, you study them, right? Like that's what we're searching here. And you'll find things in them, and they found things that were desirable. So I thought they must have found things, tried them out, and decided they were desirable. And that's the things that we need to do. We can't just read them and go, oh, that sounds good. We really need to apply them. We have a great Sunday school teacher in our ward named Greg Melchin, and he talked about how do we know that Jesus Christ is who he says he is? How do we know the scriptures are true? He had a simple phrase that I wrote in my book, and I love it. He said, do what he did and we will know. So we have to do the commandments in the scriptures to know that they're true. Another thing, the Lord commanded them to read the scriptures. He commands us to read the scriptures too. They shared them with their children. We can also share them with our children. I think that's a great way to give our children a good foundation of the gospel as we raise them, is to raise them doing the things that the scripture says so that they have a foundation on which to base their lives. He said that they would preserve the commandments, so they preserved them, meaning, I looked in the topical guide, preserve kind of looks like it meant you just leave them as they are. You don't add, you don't take away. So they preserved the scriptures, and I thought I need to be careful and preserve the scriptures when I teach my children. Like, I can't add Marcy clauses and Marcy things to the scriptures, like just to be a little more pure in the doctrine as we teach others, especially our children. The gospel, just put them out there how they are found, I think is really important. And what else? Here we are in the green. So this kind of goes for the whole thing here. I'll come out just a smidgen. I really felt like commandments are general. Like, we've got the 10 commandments. We've got love God and love thy neighbor as the great commandments. But I think like Nephi had those commandments, but Nephi also was given specific commandments like go back and get the brass plates. Go back and get your scriptures. And I feel like we are also given individual commandments as we receive promptings from the Lord. And so it's really important as we receive promptings, and as you read the scriptures every day and journal, I feel like you get a lot of promptings. It's really important to record them, to write them down, to take notes, to put them in our planners, to carry out those promptings that we receive when they're that kind of a prompting, and to take them into our hearts and try to do the things that the Lord is telling us to do. And I think as a personal example, I feel this way about this YouTube channel. I have thought I should do a YouTube channel for a few years, and I just never acted on it. But the prompting never went away, so finally I'm doing it. And I was thinking this morning, one year I finished teaching seminary, and I thought, I'm going to go home, and I just felt like I'm going to lay on the couch all day as a reward and watch YouTube. And as I was watching, I found Bible journaling channels and planner and organization channels, and I loved it. And I loved how ladies would get on YouTube and be like teachers and instruct and be like artists and show you how they made their things. And I loved it so much. So as I've later come to decide to do my own YouTube channel, it's kind of up my alley because I'm so familiar with the different channels. So, it's hard, it's awkward, but it's not completely foreign to me. And I'm going out there and doing it and loving every minute of it. Okay. Last thing here, he talks about how they took the scriptures with them into the wilderness towards the land of promise. And that's what we are doing today. When you talk about the scriptures and like Bible terms, wilderness is always seems to be referring to mortality and the struggles that we have in mortality because we are separated from God. And the land of promise is more talking about heaven. It's talking about being reunited with God and living in the celestial kingdom. So as we are on earth, separated from God, just listening to the Spirit and getting those little promptings and those inklings, it's leading us towards the celestial kingdom where we can again live with God. And that is why we need to study the scriptures and carry them with us literally on our phones, carry them with us in our hearts. That is the important thing that we can do, even when we are on vacation in a beautiful place like this. So, if I can study on vacation, I want to hear about how you study in your homes. And I hope you have a great day studying your scriptures. Bye-bye. Got my nails did. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.